Tensions between Beijing and Washington have now erupted over the unfolding crisis in Cuba, and China's warning to the United States could hardly be more direct. At a foreign ministry press briefing, China's top diplomats demanded the U.S. immediately cancel all sanctions against Cuba and cease any form of coercion, saying the economic pressure violates international norms and harms the Cuban people. Chinese officials argue that unilateral measures like the decades-long U.S. blockade undermine sovereignty and basic global standards, insisting Cuba must be left alone to chart its own future. The call came as Beijing doubled down on its support for Havana. China's foreign ministry publicly backed Cuba's right to safeguard its national security and sovereignty, explicitly opposing what it described as foreign interference in Cuban affairs. This sharp rebuke to U.S. policy reflects broader geopolitical rivalries playing out far beyond the Caribbean. The backdrop to these diplomatic fireworks is a deepening crisis on the ground in Cuba itself, since the U.S. tightened restrictions aimed at cutting off oil supplies, particularly following the capture of Venezuela's leader. The island has plunged into severe fuel shortages. Blackouts and rationing have disrupted everyday life, and airlines, including major international carriers, have suspended flights to Cuban cities as jet fuel runs low. The resulting chaos has ground tourism to a halt and stretched an already fragile economy to its limits. Chinese diplomats went further, framing Washington's actions not simply as policy choices, but as violations of international law. They criticized the U.S. for using the rhetoric of human rights to justify what they called illegitimate sanctions and interference. Beijing insists that sanctions should be lifted immediately, arguing that punitive measures have done more harm than good to Cuba's development and the well-being of its people. Such criticisms resonate with many nations that oppose the long-standing U.S. embargo. Amid mounting pressure on Havana, China has vowed continued support to alleviate Cuba's fuel and energy challenges. Officials in Beijing have expressed willingness to assist in ways that respect Cuba's sovereignty, including potential aid and cooperation to mitigate shortages. China's stance not only strengthens bilateral ties, but also signals Beijing's intent to fill the diplomatic and economic void left by Western pressure. This is part of a broader strategy to deepen influence in Latin America at a moment of heightened global competition. As global powers take opposing stances, Cubans find themselves caught in the geopolitical crossfire, with their future hanging in the balance.
Subscribe to One India and never miss an update. Download the One India app now.